Tim of Govberg, and welcome to the world of Omega. Today I will be your guide to the features, the highlights, and the functions of the sensational Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch white side of the moon. 44.25 millimeters in extraordinary double-finished white ceramic. This Omega chronometer chronograph is a sensation from the tip of its bimaterial titanium ceramic clasp to the core of its Omega exclusive caliber 9300 automatic coaxial chronometer caliber. This watch sets new standard for style and for substance in the chronograph category. Now, the watch was the third in a series of ceramic 44.25 millimeter caliber 9300 Omega Speedmasters. Now, the first was the dark side of the moon in 2013. The gray side arrived in 2014, and for 2015 at Basel World, the white side was born. Mechanically and structurally identical to its predecessors, nevertheless, it has a completely unique style and spirit. Let's start with the clasp. It features both ceramic on the outside, with twin trigger release for security. It cannot accidentally pop open, and for structural integrity as well as lightness on the underside, you'll see it features a polished titanium clasp. Now, a couple of highlights you should keep in mind. First, you can see how the clasp is cambered, but it's also a smaller clasp relative to the conventional offerings on the dark side and the gray side of the moon, as this watch is designed to be a robust option in a unisex mode. The watch will wear equally well on large or small, masculine or petite wrists, thus a shorter strap as equipped standard and a smaller internal clasp. But you'll note that the clasp features a minderless system, so regardless of what wrist it is on, there's no need for strap minder loops to take up the excess slack. All is hidden underneath the clasp body, and once again, with twin trigger release, the clasp cannot simply pop open. The strap is a high gloss, upscale, rectangular alligator leather, that is rectangular scales, folded edges, and a monotone stitch. Turn it over and you can see a contrasting red stitch with a natural grained calfskin, very supple, very soft against the skin on the underside. The case itself is the familiar Omega beveled style case, but with a level of subtlety that bears a second look. Now, in profile, the blinding white aesthetic of the watch stuns at first, but close examination will reveal that it is double finished with a satin finished flank that is a brushed directional grain and polished bevels. This is executed using Omega's exclusive diamond tipped tools, as the extremely light and wieldy ceramic is also effectively scratch resistant to a degree that rivals the sapphire crystal itself, so both very light and handsomely finished. Of course, the scratch resistance being a bonus. The same white ceramic is used on crown, chronograph pushers, and tachymeter scale. Now, the tachymeter scale is a unique chromium nitride, so it's a metal deposit on top of the white ceramic, and it can be used to gauge the speed of an object over a closed course when utilized in conjunction with the chronograph. The dial itself is zirconium oxide in a brilliant polished white that makes the red highlights of the dial pop. An extreme sort of signal red. It gives the watch additional character and flair. Now, the hands as well as the luminescent indices are polished white gold, so it is an upscale aesthetic, and this is one of Omega's flagship timepieces. The dial of the watch is clever in that it has a vintage style twin register layout, and yet it features chronograph seconds, minutes, and hours, the key being the mono counter at 3 o'clock, both minutes and hours read on twin overlapping concentric scales. A discrete date window at 6 o'clock allows you to read that practical information at a glance, and what is under the hood is equally impressive. It is Omega's exclusive caliber 9300. Not only is it exclusive to Omega, but not even the high horology brands of the Swatch Group, the likes of Jacques-Hédro, Blancpain, and Breguet, have access to this specific movement. Now, it features smooth bidirectional winding, so it doesn't have rotor wobble on the wrist. The finish is beautiful, with Geneva waves in arabesque on rotor and bridges, with blackened screws in a distinctive style. 60-hour power reserve, courtesy of twin mainspring barrels coupled in series. It features both hacking seconds and a unique time zone feature such that you can actually move the hour hand in 1 hour increments, driving the date in either direction as you travel east or west across the international date line. Additional refinements include a crisp column wheel function selector, which can be seen through the skeletonized bridge. It is the traditional way of building a chronograph. It's satisfying, you can hear it. It's a tactile pleasure to operate. And thanks to the vertical clutch, not only does the chronograph start without a jump, stop without stagger, and reset perfectly to 12 o'clock, there is no play in the mechanism, but because the vertical clutch creates no additional wear and tear on the mechanism, you can leave the chronograph running for those who prefer to have hours, minutes, and seconds at center on the dial. A handsome movement, it is also sophisticated. A COSC certified Swiss chronometer. It features the famed Omega coaxial George Daniels conceived alternative escapement, endowing the watch with reduced long-term service requirements as well as improved long-term timing stability, that is precision. You'll note that the balance is mounted on a dual-anchored balance bridge and free-sprung for robust resistance to shock-induced timing deviation, and a silicone hairspring endows the watch with robust anti-magnetic properties. Finally, the watch is water-resistant to 50 meters. A tough watch, a handsome watch, a versatile watch, equally appropriate on a man's wrist or a woman's wrist. This watch is a jack of all trades and a master of all. You can see it in the entire collection of Omega timepieces on our website, govbergwatches.com.